Hello, and welcome to Beyond Books, where we talk about books from Book of the Month Club and beyond. I'm your host, I'm Renee, and today I have for you a review. It's my final review of the books that I read for the BookTube Prize as an Octafinals judge. This book that I'm going to review today is a work of fiction, as are all of the books that I read. I was a judge in the fiction category. And this one is called Wellness. The author is Nathan Hill. This was an Oprah Book Club choice. This is Mr. Hill's second now novel. His first was called The Nix, Nix, and that was published in 2016. So, here's the bottom line about wellness that you need to know. It is basically a love story. We get introduced to the main characters, Elizabeth and Jack, when they are in their early 20s. They live in Chicago, and in the 1990s, it's the early 90s, before the explosion that would become the World Wide Web and all the fallout from it. So this was back when we hung out and spoke face to face with each other and those kinds of things. In some ways, it was a different world. And it was a good time, I think. This part of the book where they meet and they're young and they fall in love is very good. It's well written. It's in a lighthearted way, I guess I want to say, somewhat humorous, and it definitely made me smile. It made me smile to remember that this was a somewhat simpler time. A somewhat simpler time, and to remember what it was like to be young and those feelings of romantic love. So then in the book, we jump ahead to Elizabeth and Jack as a married couple with a child who doesn't always do or act as Elizabeth thinks he should. Excuse me if you hear crunching, that's Raina. I had her in here with me doing a video a few days ago, and she got some snacks, and now, guess what? She thinks she's the star of the show. So, come on, Raina. Show yourself here. Show yourself. Jump. Jump up. Come on. Jump up. There you go. Excuse me. So, the child doesn't always act the way that Elizabeth thinks he should. So that's a stressor for her. Jack, in the meantime, is dealing with the demands of his job. And as a couple, they also have some challenges that they're facing together, mainly purchasing a condo that is still under construction. And so now we're in the more modern day America, where there are the distractions of the smartphones, online arguments, and Instagram accounts that seem to show couples in these, selectively beautiful moments. So with these stressors, Jack and Elizabeth kind of start to have memories of their childhood and all of the angst and neediness of that time. Both Elizabeth and Jack had painful experiences with their families of origin. They're more probably emotionally painful than they are neglectful or involving physical abuse, although there is a little bit of that as well. And there's also some exploration of the kinds of feelings that arise and the turmoil that can happen within a family when a parent or a sibling passes. So, if you're thinking that this is a big story with lots of emotion, memories, psychological analysis or background, relationship issues, and a good dose of good old fashioned family dysfunction, you would definitely be right. This book is over 600 pages long, and it takes us through 2 decades um, of Jack and Elizabeth's relationship, plus all of their childhood memories. So I found that parts of it were very well written, interesting, fun, and lively. Others, maybe not so much. I'm not sure that everything in the book really needed to be there, but maybe that's just me. You may think the title Wellness comes from the fact that we have a couple who are trying to keep their relationship in a state of health despite the stressors of family life. And I think that's basically true, but also Wellness is the name of the research facility where Elizabeth is employed. And there's a lot about her research that I'm not sure really needs to be a part of the story. There's a lot about Jack's employer as well that may or may not really need to be there. So, with that being said, in the end, how would I rate this book? Well, I gave it 4.2 out of 5 stars. So, it still managed to get a good rating. I think that enough of it did hold my interest to warrant that score. However, it would be difficult for me to really recommend this to anyone, to a friend, for instance, because it's just simply too long. Um, in all fairness, now I'm a lot older than Jack and Elizabeth, so my friends are older, and we just aren't quite in that same stage of life as what they are. But people that I do know who are in that stage of life, ironically, are probably too busy to read a 600-page book. Um, so I can't really say I would recommend it, and who would I recommend it to, I guess. Um, so for me, the strongest part of the book, or the strongest parts of the book, are the childhood memories that come up in the course of the story. If I'm going to remember this book in the future, it will be really those parts of it. I think the relationship in their families of origin were also described very vibrantly in the book, and I could relate to a lot of that. It's obvious that Jack and Elizabeth's parents never did much self exploration. And so it's not surprising that Jack and Elizabeth find themselves at this crossroad. We do get a lot of insight into their behavior and why their relationship is as it is, despite the fact that they truly love each other. Uh, Definitely, this book comes out as strong as a testimony to the strength of a loving relationship and what it can bring to us as adults. And I do see that as a very positive aspect of this work, Wellness by Nathan Hill. So, that is my book review. I want to thank you for watching, and I appreciate all of you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, leave me thumbs up, ring the notification bell. It's a treat. So, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.